So, welcome back to game number 3 of this Play Till 3 series between Team Snake and Team Chimps. So, we've got Beastie QT, or the man formerly known as, playing as Dot, Yellow Trunks on HRE this time. Had to do a bit of a double take there. Thought, surely he's not just on Rus again, is he? But no, we got Marine Lord on Rus, Red Trunks, spawning over on the left side. The top left, we got on Team Snake, Wham, Blue Trunks on Mongols, paired with his brother, Puppy Paw on Rus. So another Night Civ pick from Puppy Paw. Puppy in the green, obviously. So we got dock openings for our right side players with access to that water on Golden Heights, while Marine Lord and Wham going to be fighting over sort of this semi-walled off cliff face here. Say semi-walled off because you sort of don't have to worry about pressure from certain angles. You really only got to worry about, you know, a bit of walling off over here, but in a way, it's quite a large and weird spot to actually wall yourself off. And you're prone to being hit from behind your actual town center for either player here, because there's a lot of resources here. So if you are going to go second town center, it's a bit of a no-brainer that you probably actually place it backward rather than toward your opponent. And given that these guys aren't going to have easy access to the water like their teammates and like one of their opponents, they probably aren't going to, let themselves fall too far behind economically while trying to take a quick age 3, for instance. Maybe just go for the second town center, put a bit of rating pressure on instead. Wham actually engaging that wolf and then deciding you're probably best off leaving it because Puppy Paw doesn't have a scout nearby to finish it off. Too busy trying to contend with another wolf further over. Trying to make sure he gets the gold out of that, but no, Beastie quicker on the draw there. Denying that by the looks of things. And so Beastie's just doing shoreline fishing while Puppy Paw is eager to fish from the deep water fish. I mean, it is quite a bit of travel distance. So for a regular fishing boat, it probably isn't really worth it to venture all the way out to the deep water fish when you can close fish from the shoreline. Unless you're Rus, obviously, with Lodja, they could just accrue all the way up till they're at max capacity and they just gather it themselves. Don't have to drop it off. No fucking around. So if you're coming from AoE 3, this is the civ to play. So we've got a silver tree here. So Wham, but you're going to probably chuck this right down next to the trading post and try and wall off around here somewhere. Even try and wall in Marine Lord, so to speak. If you can wall off that segment, it's probably the most efficient thing, and it just gives him a lot of space. Means Marine Lord's really got to try and wrap around the cliff face to actually hit the rear of his base, or hit anything from him. But there's not really like any huntables or, anything of that nature that's really going to force Marine Lord to creep up that way. He's probably going to want to work over towards here if he can. Secure these large and that small gold mine, stone, the berries, even just by having a town center over here. While Puppy Paw committing to the water, he's probably not going to worry about second town center. It's probably more of a thing for Wham to do, but 2 town center on Mongols is a little bit weird, a bit more expensive than it is on most of the other civs. Well, on all the other civs. Just doesn't actually cost you stone. But Marine Lord already trying to hassle these villagers, and it's going to be a while before they can wander all the way back to base. But he does survive on 2 health. We've got a Hulk. No, a galley, sorry. Already out. No Hulk yet. They're starting to bully these fishing boats. Doesn't look like any of them have been upgraded yet for Puppy Paw. Well, have the upgrade in queue. Because the beauty is if you get too many fishing boats, so to speak, you can just always, if you're Rus, just change them, man. Who needs to go back to shore to actually pick up, you know, weapons or anything, or we'll just fashion them out of bits of the boat. We'll make the boat bigger too. Doesn't look like Puppy Paws. I don't need to upgrade any of them just yet. Double stables here, the Marine Lord. We've got Kremlin for both of our Rus players. A lot of horsemen here for Wham. Well, the militia for Marine Lord are just trying to hassle the dock. He's just starting to add some spears now as well. Might leave these ones back to defend the gold and then send the others to come and try and support over here on the water. Because his dock is getting quite low now. Although, now that he's caught in the choke, be a bit tough for Wham, and he is trying to single out the villager. And while he's doing so, he's missing attacks on the scouts. So, he's taking a lot of damage on his army. Now with some militia into support, people was driving the enemy away, but he doesn't have any other production at the moment. A lot of larger attack ships. Beastie having got a couple of Hulks and the galley. So he should be able to defend the dock a little bit easier now from the shore, especially because he's got those spears on defense, but at the same time, looks like Puppy Paw is trying to actually harass the dock a little bit, take off enough health for it to start burning down. Force his opponent to have to bring over some more villagers to repair it. Beastie's trying to finish off the militia. Looks like Wham actually just sneak around here. Picked off another villager as well, denied another dock opportunity. So Beastie's for the most part just sacrificing his warships by the look of it. Just trying to take out one last fishing boat, but not really successful. Puppy Paw having had to commit to a demo ship, but I mean you can always convert these guys all back into fishing boats, just the cost of a bit of wood. Marine Lord trying to put the pressure on Team Snake now. Now that they've won the water off Team Chimps, particularly that knight player that hasn't had to commit anything to docks, to warships. Onus is sort of really on Marine Lord to try and deal a bit of damage to one of these opponents right now. And he's doing a good job of actually preventing any trading, because Wham will be looking to start that to really pick up economically. He's already the score leader, already has quite a good number of cavalry out in the field, but he's going to struggle to take direct fights against the knights with those. Because, you know, they are a light horseman versus a heavier horseman unit, so you're really relying on getting a good surround and being able to actually pick away at these guys and then disengage. And even that fight there with the unit advantage wasn't really worth it for Wham. He's not really putting any pressure on Marine Lord anywhere at the moment. So he's having a retreat. Lost a couple of horsemen. Did a bit of damage to the knights, but, you know, it's not quite the same as having spearmen or having crossbows. So now Wham's going to have some knights, some spears there to ward off knights. Going to start putting an outpost down, trying to trade to pick up a nice 190 gold there. Well, these militia just set to expire, and now this is more the composition that Wham needs to actually fight into knights at this stage. So, I mean, at least, even though the horsemen aren't going to trade that cost effectively, well, aren't going to trade cost effectively against the knights, the spears will be able to really do the job. So it forces Marine Lord to have to keep disengaging and bring more knights. And look at investing in either ranges or barracks himself. So he'll go ranges. Beastie gone for a second town centre and a third now. So he's really going to try and play catch up economically here and just rely on the fact that his teammate can put some good pressure on with these knights. But Puppy Paw gone to Castle Age already. So he's in a nice spot. High Trade House is going to mean a lot of gold generation. Only 130 though. So, I mean, on some other maps you can see as high as about just under 400. But in saying that, it's definitely better than nothing. And it means he doesn't have to invest in monks to try and get relics to get some gold generation from that. He's already going to start accruing a fair bit and be able to play around knights, crossbows, man-at-arms, that sort of thing. He's even getting knight upgrade. But Wham, not really able to trade all that much. He's just got his caravans, his traders just parked on the safety of his town centre at the moment. Puppy Paw trying to wall, cover his teammate here. Well, Beastie attempting to wall in one of the relics. Not successful there because there is all the attack ships there to defend. Nice little raid here from Wham, denying a lot of gathering. It looks like he's got the comp to clean this army of Marine Lords up here. So he'll pick off all those archers. And Marine Lord's forced to have to repair the fortress because he can't really afford to have Wham come back and knock him off there. After having, you know, he's got all the villagers there and invested in both the fortress and the hunting cabin. Hunting cabins are more expensive than a regular mill as well. It's a little bit slow to actually rally back onto the resources there. He didn't shift click. What are you doing? So, Puppy Paw seems to be in a really nice spot with the water economy. And Wham's been applying some really nice pressure around the map as our Mongols player. Looks like Wham eager to get Castle Age here. Hasn't been able to trade as well as he'd like. Oh, and the spears. Just going to miss the knight there. Which could be very bad for Wham, considering that trader is carrying over, well, just, yeah, over 200 resources. So if this guy goes down, this is really rough for Wham. Really nice pickup there for Marine Lord, bearing in mind. Oh, and the trader dying means it's taking off the food because he hasn't got 5 caravans. Oh, and these ones haven't been rallied all the way. So Wham will have to fix that up. Puppy Paw unable to finish this wall off. He's really struggling to get that finished now. Here we go. He's safe for the time. Ooh, he's not safe anymore. There's a lot of... Every time he goes to bring the villagers forward, there's a lot of knights on the way. With archers in support. These spears are going to have to get out of here or get in the grave. And they pick the ladder. So The wall off. Not quite going to plan. The villagers just getting taken out straight away. Puppy Paw going to have to retreat because it's a hell of a force there from Marine Lord. But bearing in mind, Puppy Paw does have damage upgrade. I mean, Castle Age upgrades already. Marine Lord's still stuck in Age 2, so it's not as bad as it seems. That trader is going to be able to make it home, but the next is not. So I think this wood carrying is going to disappear once it gets picked off. Yeah, so every time you drop it down an increment of 5 or 10, you lose that little bit of extra gathering. Wham now. Raiding Beastie, it's a good time. Because Beastie's just looking at adding all of his production. He's managed to get Regnit's Cathedral in, so he's really tried to boom up in Castle Age here. 3 town centre, the Regnit's Cathedral. Only taking all the macro options, but Puppy Paw and Wham are now just going to collapse on top of him, while Marine Lord's trying to force fights on this left side of the map and really shut down that caravan economy. But BC needs to be able to hold on while this is going on, and the Spears are actually making good fights against the Knights without really much to deal any damage back to the Spears cost effectively there. Got that monk getting picked off there by Puppy Paw. Wham's lost all of his caravans though, so his scores actually dipped down to the lowest at the moment, but Puppy Paw still in the lead, seemingly. Just streaming in lots of units, he might be able to pick off this town centre. He does have enough to repel the Knights here from Marine Lord, and he's Age 3, so he can always switch things up and add some Man-at-Arms here if he wants. Well, Wham, now in Age 3, has access to Lancers. Marine Lord's still the last player stuck in Age 2 at this point. And just trying to field units to keep himself and Beastie afloat at the moment is actually preventing him from getting Castle and actually getting the upgrades and the units that he really needs to win fights here, because those bowmen are really going to start... the archers are really going to start falling off, even against spearmen if they're fighting while down on upgrades. And, you know, you really want to try and get crossbows eventually, because then they can have the benefit of both spearmen and archers in one against the Knights, being able to engage from afar and also deal bonus damage. And now Beastie really going to be struggling to gather, and while Marine Lord's sending everything across to try and help out Beastie, Wham's now raiding him. There's a lot of villagers under threat here. They do get evacuated immediately, but that's a lot of idle time already when you've got 25 to 30 of them just not able to gather like that. Puppy Paw still being a real pest inside Beastie's base here, keeping these guys all garrisoned. Might even be able to get one of these Knights out of here. Or Wham doing his best to keep Marine Lord busy here. Oh, he's backing off here for some reason. He probably should just come over here and clean this up, because Marine Lord's looking to commit to farms, but Wham is also pushing through the front of his base, forcing a lot of villagers to garrison, while Puppy Paw stacks of militia at the moment. Marine Lord used all of his charges of militia as well. When Wham actually has picked off the villagers that were over here, and he's going to be able to focus down this town centre because there's nothing garrisoned in it. Take out the farms as well, and GG. Team Snake does take a game off Team Chimps and wins back a bit of their pride.